Welcome back, guys. So here we are, can only mean one thing, and it is new van day. So on this one, we got to strip all this racking, both sides, and I can see already there's a lot of screws. So we're going to get all this out, get the floor up, we'll get the ply lining off the walls as well as the bulkhead out, get this completely stripped back, and then we'll give it a really good clean. I think the cab section is really clean and been well looked after, but the rear has had a little bit of work going on back here, and the floor is in quite a bad state. So I think it's going to need a lot of cleaning, this one. So we're going to get it stripped today, just get it cleaned, ready for us to make a good go on this. I've also been doing a lot of stuff in the workshop, sort of trying to get it prepped and do a little bit more on it. So I'll show you what I've done. We got some hangers up here just to make nice easy access for me to get some of my tools. We got a silicone hanger that's now got a bit more space and things aren't so crammed on there, so easier for me to find and get to. I've got some more of these up here. Now these are handy, but I still find them too small. So I think on this end section here, I'm going to do something sort of floor to ceiling and like pigeonholes where I can get a lot more of the bigger stuff in here. You know, like I got the door hinges here and they're spread over too, and that's only I think 5 of them. Some nice big pigeonholes there will do well. Oh, we've also painted this building. Still got the edging to do, but Charles said she'd do that. We've also done the inside, but again all the edging needs doing, and probably do with a second coat as well. Put a little automatic sort of hand wash dispenser there, and I've done a hand sanitizer one just here. So not loads, but I need to get working on this van, don't I? So we've had a bit of a clean. Our commercial bin is here, so we've been able to clear a lot of crap. The only thing I can't put in it is wood, so I think what I'll do is advertise all the wood. Like I've got a bin here full of it. I got some bits down here that can go, so I'm just gonna put it on like Facebook, see if someone wants it for a log burn or something. And I'm also gonna get a lot of wood from this as well. You guys want more B-roll, so I think what I'm gonna do is set up a tripod at the back here, and then you watch me dismantle this. Pit stop, wife brought the McDonald's. I got a helper. Let's get back to it.
I got roped in, alright.
Right, fair play. That was an absolute mission. There was about 500 screws. This bucket here is literally just full of screws, nails, and then I lifted up the floor and the mess that was underneath. Now, I had a couple of concerns when I was actually dismantling all that, because I noticed a lot of the screws in sort of the racking system were rusted. So I've been checking everywhere to see if there's any leaks. I can't see anything obvious apart from the usual suspect, which is the wheel arches where they screw through them to do the ply lining. But I think I'm gonna have to take this outside and get the hose on it. I just want to check it for leaks because that was a lot of rust. There was a lot of I think it's like sand and sawdust underneath this ply floor. And again, you can see with his darker areas, it was down in that corner, and underneath that wheel arch and beer where it was dark, you can see it was damp. So it could just be there was a lot of trapped damp in here. So I think I need to get this all cleaned up properly, which is going to be a mission because it's all stuck to the floor. Now ideally I'd like to take it outside and jet wash it out, but I don't really want to add to the damp that's already in here. I need to dry this out, so we're going to do it the hard way. So I'm not going to, I was going to take the bulkhead out here, but I'm going to leave that in until this has been sorted because the cab is nice and clean and I don't want it to get dirty in there. I'm not going to show you me cleaning, cleaning's cleaning. But yeah, that's what I got to look forward to. And it's everywhere. And it's proper stuck in there as well. Also, a couple of people asked, it's awful quiet there, Stu, why don't you have the radio on? I do, radio's there. But if I leave the radio on when I'm recording, I'll get a copyright strike. So I don't work here in silence. Right, that took a lot longer than I expected. That was some really proper built-in dirt. Now, I noticed when I was taking the racking system down, obviously there's a lot of screws in it. Let me see if I can find you some. Yeah, here's one. And they were all rusted. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you know, and these are higher up in the timber, so I was a bit concerned, thinking that's a lot of moisture in a 3-year-old van. Where's it all coming from? I think it was like some sort of builder's van. The floor was in quite a bad state of repair, and yeah, the amount of muck as you saw underneath it, but there was a few damn spots, so I think that's where it's come from. So what I'm gonna do is later on is take it outside. I'm gonna get the hose on it. Now I can see sort of all the joints now. I just want to just check, make sure there isn't any water coming in anywhere, and make sure she's nice and dry. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Anyway, so the floor is looking much better. Yep, that's a train. I work right by a train line. Right, so the floor is looking a lot better. I've started some sanding where some of the paint was bubbling, so the damp was quite bad here as well. I think this section is exposed. If you remember, on the Boxer we hammer-righted that, so I think I'm going to do this customer solid, and we're going to get that repainted in some black hammerite to match the black bumper on the rear because it's pretty badly scuffed. This is all done now, so it's now time to red oxide and treat all this. Say it's just a few rust spots like that. I need to get all this sanded and wiped down, get it red oxide. I've done the sound deadening, or the majority of it. Nothing here, so we're having a motorhome window here, same in the side loading door, one each of the 2 rear doors, and then a sort of skinnier long one here. And we're actually going to be using motorhome windows, but I have found an alloy framed one that's also a low profile, and they look really good. I'm just waiting for the customer to confirm he likes them as well, because he wants the motorhome windows, but normally they bubble outside quite a lot. But these ones are almost flush with the van. I think they look really nice. So we're gonna red oxide this. I've got the bulkhead out as well, and just taken the bench seat out because he's having the 2 captain's chairs. He's got a slightly different pattern on this seat. Looks like a new sort of shade on it. So we're gonna try and find one that matches. If not, then we'll just have to get what's available, because again, they're quite scarce. They're not very easy to come by at the moment. Right, I'm gonna show you guys how I prep the van before I do anything. So once it's been stripped out and given it a clean, and then every van has pretty much got holes in the floor and in the wall from lining kits. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I go over with a red oxide. So anywhere where the paint has been scratched and you've got bare metal, it's bubbling, sand it back, gets painted, as well as all these holes. And then you have all the holes from where the ply kit was. What I do is we red oxide everything first, even the bare holes, because you want that red oxide to get inside the hole, you know, let it be generous, let it go underneath. And then once it's all dried, I put pop rivets in. So we got rivets in every single hole, and then when they're all done is I'll go over them again with the red oxide. So I'm sort of double laying them as well because the rivet is still bare metal. That's the red oxide I'm using. And then you've got the underside. So where the holes are in the floor, obviously you can have your rivets, you can have your rivet ends underneath. So I use this underbody seal. I don't do it today. I'll do it when like I'm doing the diesel eater and whatever and the van's jacked up a bit and I'm under there. And I'll go on every single one of those and treat them all from underneath as well. So we've been treated above, we're treated underneath, it's all sealed in. Job done. Right, so in the last video when I sort of introduced this fan as the next one, I showed you all the damage. So our friends at Paintworks have had it for a few days while we were away. So there was a big dent scuff in that area. That's looking mint, but if you remember, the real bad area was this here, and that is looking perfect. Ignore these lines, this is where I've been lubricating the runners. And then they also, that header piece up there was really badly damaged. That had hit something, but that's looking really, really good as well. There was on, I think it was this corner, that was scuffed. They fixed that. Done a really nice job on that. It's completely just transformed how it looked because this one side here was well and truly battered. Right, back to work. Good morning guys, Tuesday today and we're really getting going on this Ducato now. This rear section here, now the floor tends to come to around this sort of area, but all this, because it was a builder's fan, was disgusting. So we primed it, painted it, I had to take the rear bumper off, but we've got that nice, you can see where some of the dents are. There's not a lot I can do about that, but I've made it look a whole lot better. We're now moving on to the electrics. And there's a lot of electrics to do in this van, so it's an all-electric van and we've got points all over the place. So like in the kitchen, because we're doing like a larder unit here with the tall fridges, and then above there's like a tambour door cupboard and there's going to be sockets in there, and then above the kitchen we're going to do another socket and a USB point. We got the electric step, so there's going to be a switch on the side of the kitchen here to operate that. We got seating here, so there's another socket and USB here. Galley kitchen beer, so another 2 sockets and a USB point here. And then just some bed lights and some stuff for the garage, like what we got. So I'm going to do another garage light. We've got the water pump, the water heater, the toilet, electric, a 230 socket and a 12-volt cigarette socket sort of in this area. Now you're thinking toilet? Yes, the toilet is actually going on runners. So you know in the boxer where I've put the fridge in the centre? Well, that's where the toilet's actually going to go on this one, but it's going to be on heavy duty runners that slides out. So obviously I've got to sort of manufacture a way now to get a cable and a water supply to it that will be able to run with the toilet. So that'll be interesting, but we'll get it done. We'll figure that out later on. There's too much other stuff for me to be worrying about at the moment to get this fan ready. So it's having Solway panels all throughout this fan. So in order for me to put those in, I've got to have all the windows in, the skylights in, all the electrics that I want behind the walls all need to be in, and then we can get it insulated as well. A lot of work, but it's going to be epic and I'm really looking forward to it. Now the boxer is also going this morning. The customers are coming down from Aberystwyth to pick it up, and I'll show you a little update on it. So I told you the windscreen got replaced, we know the back doors got sprayed, and the last little thing, let's get some lights on in here. And they asked for a table, so I've locked it in place a minute so it's not free flowing. So I've done a lagoon table for so yep, that's all done. I've just got that connected on the side. It can go up, down, in, out, and spins all around in all sort of shapes and fashions. Boxer's done, that'll be gone in the next couple of hours, and yeah, we're well into November now and it's like my fingers are getting really cold. It's really cold in here. So I've ordered an LPG space heater. Another little update as well. So there's a unit that matches this one just the other side of this wall here, and the landlord's coming down for a meeting with me today because we're thinking of taking it on. So they're going to do where this wall is like a double door opening so we can pass through the 2 units. We just realized we need space for an office, like we'd like a little kitchenette here so we can make some food, you know, we can have a little under-counter fridge for milk or sandwiches. We was going to do a mezz floor. Prices are ridiculous. I had one for 8.5 grand plus VAT, one for 10.5 grand plus VAT, when everyone was telling me previously, oh, it'll be a couple of grand, you know, 3-4 grand, which I thought, all right, that's doable. Them kind of prices, I think I might as well take the unit next door. I can then put another van in there. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have 2 vans on the go. We'll have one which, when it's in prep, will be on that side, and then when it's on the finishing side, where it's like all the furniture building and that, it'll then come over onto this side. Or sometimes you get a day's like, oh, we're waiting for this or whatever, and you might have a day free. It's like, right, well, we're waiting for something here, we can just do the odd day there. So it's kind of going to be an area where we'll put a van where the customer's like, there's no rush on it, and it's something we can plod along with, and then obviously when this one's done, we can pull it into here and get going on that one as well. And, you know, we might get some extra hands on here. So it just, I think it allows us to expand a bit if we want to. And it's the last unit that's available in this area. So I'm like, well, take it now before someone else does. So that's what we're about to do. Lots of cabling to do. This is going to look like a mess in a minute because there's going to be cables everywhere. So I need to get these cables run, get them all tied in, neaten them off. The windows are due, and that will be the next job. So let's get this done. Right, almost the end of the day, and we've got a lot of the cabling done. So that where the bench seat is be here, that's where I'm going to be putting the electrics board. So they're all coming out here at the moment. And then we got some crossovers. I've still got some conduit to do. I've run out, but I've also cut the hole for the skylight. This is going to be a max fan here. Now I tried the new nibbler, and boy is it aggressive. It cuts so quick, but it also cuts quite a wide cut on it as well. So I sort of did my trick where I do an inner cut, and then I went to the trusty jigsaw just because I feel like I got more control on it. I think that's going to be better where it's a double skin. So like when you're doing a bonded window and you're following the cut for the inner skin, it won't cut through 2 skins, it'll only cut through 1, so you can then use the back skin as like the template to go around. So that I think is when it'll come into its own, but on single skin it was very aggressive. So yeah, I think that's me done for today. The boxer is gone. Customers were delighted with that, so that's all sorted. And we can now get focused 100% on this fan. All the cleaning and preparation is done, so it's get the cabling done, get the insulation on, and then we're doing this, as I said, we're doing the Solway panels. Now if you don't know what they are, they're like a plastic trim, but it's pre-molded, so it goes all around the van, all the doors, the ceiling. That's arrived, that's all here. But before I fit these, I need to do all the windows and skylights, hence why I've made a start, because you've got to cut those out then in the Solway panels. So the windows I think are due tomorrow, so I figured let's make a start on those, get those done. When the windows arrive, we can get all those cut out ready, then we can do the Solway panels. Right, also nearly forgot to mention, Charles been here and she has actually made a start the insulation, so she's done some of the corners, up the top here. She's left some areas because we've got some cabling still to finish off. We've got a reverse camera to put in. So she's done that, and she also went out earlier. Now, tell me your missus has invaded your space without telling me your missus has invaded your space. I'm like, it's a works toilet. It's gonna get ruined. Girls will be girls. Right, I'm off. Good night, guys. What day is it today? Wednesday today. So it's the following day, and this morning I've come in and I've just battened this up, got the max fan in. That's got to actually come back out so I can mark the Solway panel, but I just wanted to test it all, that's all good. And the next job I'm gonna do, the motorhome windows have arrived, so I figured let's do all the cutouts for the windows. I'm not gonna fit the windows, I'm just gonna do the cutouts so I can go around, treat them all, do the timber frames for behind them, and then probably do the actual fitting of the windows tomorrow morning. This is what we've got on the side loading door and also on the wall on the other side. The cutout is 450 by 1100. Yes, I like doodling on the van. Always do it where the cutout is. I've got my center point and then my measurements. I've then marked it with a pencil so I could easily rub it out in case I had done it wrong, but it was all right. And then as you can see, I've got my masking tape on, and then the other thing I've done is just put some extra masking tape on the edges, across the sill, top of the handle, because you get a lot of swore from it, and we just want to try and reduce that landing on the van. We want it to fall to the floor. Now the windows we've chosen, these are actually really nice. They're from Cheshire vehicle windows, and because they're motorhome ones, look how low profile they are. Bearing in mind it fits up to the motorhome but here, so that's the profile. So they're very, very low profile, and they're also an aluminium alloy frame, so they're not going to rust, they're lightweight. They were a little bit pricier than standard ones, but you know, you've got your double skin, so you're not going to get condensation in the window. You've also got nice openers where the whole window can open out, and they also come with the blind and fly screen section that goes inside. So I'm quite excited to fit these. I've got 5 of those to do, and then the 2 skylights. Obviously I've done one, but I've still got another one to do. I'm just waiting for that flange plate to come because of the ridges in the roof. That's enough waffle. Do I mark them all up, then cut them, or should I just do one at a time? I'll do one at a time in case masking tape doesn't like to stick for too long. So I think we'll cut it out and then clean that up and then do the same on the next one, and so on and so on. We did also this morning, because it's starting to get cold, like I don't mind the cold, but it's the fingers, and obviously I need my fingers for work. So I picked up this little space heater that runs off an LPG tank, and to be fair, it heated the unit in about 10 minutes this morning, but you can then see I've got the front doors open, so I like the natural light coming in because the van hasn't got any cutouts in it yet. It's quite dark when you're working in it, so I like to open that up, open the rear doors, and it lets lots of light in, so it's just easier to work with. But as it's getting colder and colder, I'm not going to be able to keep doing that, so I think I'm going to have to buy some floodlights that I can just position in the cab going down the van. But I got to be careful what floodlights I get because they flicker on the lens. It's a pain in the ass. Right, I've also picked up shed loads of batten. So this is the roofing batten. I get this because it comes treated, and whilst we don't want any water in the van, you know, you do still get vapor, you get condensation, especially where that's going on the floor and the ceiling, so that's just a bit more protected. It's 25mm, so it's perfect. It works well with the 25mm PIR board here. We've got the lining for the roof, which is the 5.5mm, but the Solway panels then basically adhesive onto these, and then we've got the 18mm ply for the floor, and they were bloody heavy. I've got so used to using the lightweight ply, I went to pick up one of them and I was like, whoa, hello. Right, let's crack on. I've just cut out the inner section with my new nibbler, and you've seen how quick it does this. Check this out, this is brilliant. It might be a bit wobbly because I haven't got it solidified, but so quick and so easy. So as I've said before, I like to do an inner cut so that I just feel like I got more control when I do my main cut. So that's that bit out. Hasn't got to be pretty, it's just to get the centre out, but rather than have to go all the way around it twice with a jigsaw, that is just so much easier. But as I said before, it's very unpredictable in single skin, so I think it'll be better on the bonded. As I feel I got a bit more control, back to trusty. And that is one rectangular hole cut out. Nice clean cut, done. Now when you cut with a jigsaw, the swarf is very, very fine. It's almost airborne sort of weight. Whereas on a nibbler, you get these nice big chunks. I don't know if, see if we can show you. See the pretty big? And they just fall to the floor, much easier to clean up, whereas with the finer dust it gets everywhere, and if you leave it on a van you get rust spots all over the van, so it's really important to get them off. But that's the extra joy of having a unit. It's inside, so the only time this will go outside is when it actually has its main wash, but this will get brushed down in here or with an air gun.
I've commandeered his camera because you guys think that I don't exist. Well, here I am, making him, the chief, a cuppa. So this week we got hold of a cheap coffee machine, shove a pod in it, shove that on, pause. Fantastic. So there, I do stuff. And I've been bringing loads of boxes down here because I've been waiting at home for loads of deliveries. So I've had a car full. I've brought them down for him. I'm good like that, see?
Yeah,
to be fair.
You've brought me loads of goodies. I'm happy with that, love.
You know, always behind the scenes. You know,
I'm freezing, so it's time for some heating in here.
So you've got your new toy this morning.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you've used it?
No, I tested it earlier.
Okay, cool. Well, whoa. That's like a rocket taking off. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's just powerful. Don't get too close, it's flames.
We came to work this morning about 6:30 and put the new sign up on the door, and it looks absolutely wicked. So yeah, it's the first time I've been back down here.
I haven't shown them the sign.
Have you not?
No.
This looks epic. Check this out. Ta-da! What do you think? I think he needs a bigger sign. I better get off your camera now.
Yeah, stop hijacking it.
I know,
They want to
sorry.
see vanbuild then.
Sorry. Nice to see you back at work, to be honest.
Right, so once a cutout is done, same thing, go around it with a file on the inside and the outside to take off all the burrs, and then I'm just using some Hammerite black paint, and I found out what these are called as well actually, so I think I called it I can't even remember what I called it, but they're actually called TBTs, which stand for teddy bear testicles. I know. That's what they call teddy bear testicles. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's what everyone calls them.
You're not going to forget that in a hurry, are you?
No. The adapter for the roof, for the ridges, that's arrived. Last year, a lot of people ask where I get these from. They're from Magnum Motorhomes. It's the Fiamma adapter frame vent 40, so it's a 400 by 400. Now, everywhere you look, these are costing up to 100 quid. £25. Does the exact same thing. So I've got everything I need to do now. So I'm going to treat this window, move on to the next one, and on to the next one, and we're going to do 6 cutouts, not 5. 6 cutouts.